You are listening to Real Talk Texas on 570 KLIF News and Information. Now, live in studio, your host, local real estate expert Steve Hakes.
Welcome to Real Talk Texas. I'm your host, Steve Hakes, and today we're going to talk about something that's very interesting. We get a lot of calls about this, and we want to clear the air and really give people the real facts about reverse mortgages. You see ads on TV. They kind of have different celebrities on talking about it, and so what I thought I would do today is really reach out and find a real expert, like we do here all the time on Real Talk Texas, and find a real expert that I work with as far as providing reverse mortgages. And today we've got calling in from, where are you at, Lorraine, today?
Charlotte, North Carolina.
And from Charlotte, North Carolina. And Lorraine's with Urban Financial, and she has 10 years experience in the reverse mortgage industry. She's actually a trainer for Urban Financial, and she helps me when I have questions about how to look at a reverse mortgage, or if I got something and I get stumped on. Lorraine's trained thousands of reverse mortgage professionals throughout the country, and she does it both in classroom as well as on webinars for us. So she's a great resource, and she's head of Urban Financial's training division. So welcome, Lorraine.
Thank you very much, Steve. I appreciate being here.
We've also got in the studio today, we've got Dr. Carl Howe. He's our financial expert here on Real Talk Texas, and he's going to help me co-host the show today. And we're going to both team up on you, Lorraine, and ask all the questions we think our listeners want to know.
Looking forward to it.
Okay, so I'm going to kind of turn the floor over to you a little bit. I really want to go from the beginning. I know in Texas, we've only been able to do reverse mortgages here for a little bit of time. In fact, there are reverse mortgages that are available nationally that we still can't do in Texas, like the purchase loan with a reverse mortgage. And we'll talk about that later in the show, that may be coming to Texas as well. But, yep. I think that a lot of people will look and say, okay, reverse mortgage. What is a reverse mortgage?
Steve, that's really good. And I wanted to ask Lorraine, because I run into clients all the time, and they're under the misassumption that they think that they're going to give up their home. They're going to lose their home if they do a reverse mortgage. They're not going to own it anymore. And that really couldn't be further from the truth, could it, Lorraine?
Absolutely, and that's one of the biggest misconceptions still to this day, even with all of the public knowledge and education and people out there that are providing information both from a media perspective as well as an industry. People still think that the bank will own their property. They would look at the word reverse, I think, and look at it in a negative connotation, not recognizing what the true benefits are for the program.
Okay, so let's clear the air. What is a reverse mortgage?
Well, basically, the way I like to explain it, especially to new people entering into the industry or looking into it for the first time, it is a type of home equity conversion mortgage that allows people ages 62 and older to access some of the equity out of their property without ever having to pay it back to the lender, as long as they live in the property and maintain the property itself. So I pretty much make it very simplified by calling it an IOU home equity loan. It's just like any other loan. It provides resources from the home that eventually will be paid back by the future sale of the property whenever that happens. But as long as that homeowner is in the house, the payments are not required back to the lending institution.
So they make zero payments?
Zero payments. Now,
they are required to make the payment for their taxes and insurance, though, right?
Yes, that's correct. And that's a big focus today in the industry of the reverse mortgage world, is making sure that clients and other professional folks understand that the homeowner's insurance and taxes still need to be maintained regardless of the longevity of the program. And more people are recognizing that that's essential, because those are some of the few options that would cause a reverse mortgage to default.
Lorraine, what I find is a lot of people, like we talked about, they're under the misconception they don't own their home. They actually still do own their home. The title's still in their name.
Absolutely.
Like you said, they're getting equity out of their home. And also, let's say you have a couple and they're both over 62. One of the spouses passes away. That reverse mortgage still continues, correct?
That's correct. As long as both parties are on the mortgage, then as long as one of them are living in the home, the reverse mortgage is not due and payable until both of them depart the property.
Okay, so what is the strategy? Why would someone want to have a reverse mortgage? Why are we doing this?
Well, there's a variety of different reasons why people need to access money from their homes. When people are getting close to retirement age, one of the things that is being focused on with today's baby boomers and people of that generation is the fact of being able to retire and have financial longevity. More and more people are living to a much older age than in the past, and therefore the amount of their financial resources are going to be needed to sustain that longer lifespan. And as such, people are afraid to retire. They're not going to have as much. They're not going to be able to maintain the bills associated with keeping the property that they want to stay in. Some people want to do home repairs or modify their properties accordingly to, meet the needs of them as they age. And there's also people that want to use this as an estate planning tool. More and more, and I think Carl will agree with me, is, instead of rescuing older adults out of a frying pan situation to prevent them from having a home foreclosure or to be able to make, payments for necessities, people are using reverse mortgages as an estate planning tool to allow them to have more comfort in their retirement years by seeking the advice of financial professionals, elder care attorneys, and folks of that nature as well. So there's a million reasons why we need money. And as we age, they certainly do change in the types of programs that are available to be able to access funds without really being a detriment to the monthly expenses associated with having it.
And that's great advice. And one of the things I always say is that, when people work with Steve Hakes, when they work with me and my team, we really listen and we try to be we know that your mortgage is a big part of your financial package that you're trying to put together. And I work with Carl as far as, making sure our clients have a resource that they can go to get other financial advice as well. And, offering reverse mortgages now, it really gives another vehicle for those seniors out there. And it's a huge market. I mean, how many people would really be in the market to consider this right now?
Well, basically, believe it or not, less than 1% of the available adult homeowners that own their property are utilizing the reverse mortgage at this point in time. As years go by, one of the things that people are realizing, it's not a secret that the number of people that are over the age of 65 are going to be over 56 million by the year 2020. So there's a lot more opportunity for people, and you'd be surprised how many folks own their home free and clear, even those people that do have small payments on their property as well are eligible for the program. But again, I think education, understanding, and really getting rid of the misconceptions and getting to the nitty-gritty root cause of everything is going to allow people to understand how this can assist them in creating their financial needs.
Well, if you've been thinking about a reverse mortgage, or your parents maybe they should be considering it as well, you're going to want to stay tuned, because we're going to talk more about what this actually is and how you can use the money, how you benefit from it, and all those things. When we come back from the break, you're listening to Real Talk Texas right here on KLIF AM 570 News and Information.